Oh, so you can put an intro video. I'm learning so much. Hello, awesome authors. We are live on YouTube and in the Answering the Call to Write Facebook group. And this has been a very, very much an impromptu get together. I saw that Sabrina was doing something awesome and I wanted to bring her on board. For those of you in the Answering the Call to Write Facebook group, you will be familiar with Sabrina. I'm sure she's been a regular guest on the Answering the Call to Write podcast as well. And I'm super excited to hear what she has up her sleeve. But before we give you the details, Sabrina, first of all, thank you for doing this and for showing up and shining your beautiful light as you always do.
No, thank you, Melissa, because this was your invitation, and so I'm just thrilled to be able to invite others on board.
Yes, it's awesome. What I love about you, Sabrina, is you have such a heart for recognizing the message that people are carrying and to encourage them to get that message out into the world. You invite them to step out and share and be seen and shine that beautiful light. And I love that about you. So I notice as well, you are taking so many bold steps to just get out there, just share your message. Like you show up with everything that's happening at your house and, just you don't care if you've got your makeup on or not. Like it's just so authentic and brave and beautiful. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about what has taken you down this path of walking in boldness and taking those steps, because I know it's daunting for people. I mean, I myself struggle. Like I have to make sure I look okay, or if I'm recording something, I'll record it 6 times before I even dare to post it. So tell us about your journey and how you kind of grow in confidence.
Oh my gosh. So I feel like I've kind of been hidden for the past several weeks, maybe a few months now, just unintentionally honest. I mean, to be honest. And it's really just been this realignment, re-anchoring time for me, because I felt that there was a shift in the way I was going to be serving and who I was called to serve. And it's not a complete, I'm just doing something completely new, but I knew in my knower that there was going to be a shift in the offer that I was going to bring. And so it's like God was just saying, I need you just to say no to these opportunities that are coming up, because we need to to get alone with him and just really seek him for what was next. And so I've been sharing that on the podcast too, just in real time, as I have been sitting with the Lord. Like, this is what it has looked like. And I titled that podcast series The Sacred Shift, because it has been a shift in me. And then I just felt like, okay, I hear what you're saying, Lord. Like I can see what has taken place. And now it's time to get out there. And honestly, I've been wondering, like, okay, now that there is this shift, like, what does it look like to now put myself out there with this clarity and this offer? And so this whole challenge that has come up is just, hey, the Lord highlighted this to me recently as I was on a call for a few minutes and they were talking about visibility. I just heard in my spirit, get out there. It's a 30-day challenge. Just go. Not having a plan or not having the stuff in the background, but that's kind of where I have been and now where I'm at. And I feel like God is just saying, put yourself out there in real time and invite others to join you. And so it's almost like this challenge is for me, but God is saying, invite other people to join you. So it's not like, hey, I'm challenging you to show up, and be visible. I need this challenge for myself because there has been a shift. And now God is saying, put the message out there and be bold and don't worry about what people are going to say. And maybe if not everyone understands. I think that's, when you're trying to articulate what God has put on the inside of you, sometimes you're like, how do I say this very clearly? What if people don't quite understand? And I think perhaps that's what this challenge is about, is to help me to begin to share openly and honestly and show up.
Mm.
So that's a little bit about what's been going on.
That's amazing, and that's so good because I remember when I started out with sharing my story. This was even before I published my book. The advice we got from the publisher was get out there, start talking about your message, because you want people to know what's happening way before you press the publish button. You want to be seen so that people can know who you are, what you carry,
Yes.
and they can connect with your heart. They can see what it is that you are bringing to the table. And if it resonates with them, they've got a relationship with you, because it takes time to be trusted and for people to get to know you and your character so that they can trust you. We can't trust someone we don't know.
Yeah.
So being visible is such an important part of being an author. You've got to get out there and share. And I remember the first time I did a Facebook Live, I felt physically sick.
Uh-huh.
My palms were sweating. I genuinely felt awful. It wasn't comfortable. I had so many hang-ups starting out. I have this heavy Afrikaans accent, which gets heavier when I feel under pressure. And there was all these reasons why I did not want to do this. And you're right, it is that there's this fear sometimes of being misunderstood,
Uh-huh.
that people will not get it, they won't understand. But one of the things I found was the minute I started sharing, it was like something broke. There was a barrier that I broke through,
Yeah.
where I started to care less and less about what people think, to the point where it has been, let me just say, a 5-year process, but to the point where today I can hop on a call. All the technology was an absolute wild ride to sort out, like, how are we going to do this live? And it would have floored me in the past, but it's like a muscle almost that I have
Yeah.
exercised. And
Yep.
I realize now that it really isn't about me or what people think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly right. Everything that you just said is why I really believe that God is just saying, just jump. I just want you to jump. And this isn't my first, it's not like it's my first time, but in a way, this feels to me like a relaunch, because the message has shifted and the offer has shifted. And so it's like I am putting myself out there again. My new website is, I'm getting ready to promote that at the same time. So it's like there's a lot that I have been doing in the background. And now it's like God is saying, okay, now go.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have the marketing plan for that. Like this 30-day visibility challenge is kind of part of my marketing plan that's just on the fly. And it does feel a little bit intimidating. And I really feel like part of it is, and the significance on the video and the voice, that's the challenge, because we can post and we can show up and be visible, quote unquote visible, by putting those posts out there, but there's something about the putting yourself on video and letting people hear your voice. And I think doing it consistently, no matter if you feel like you're ready or not,
Mm-hmm.
there's something, like you said, that breaks when you just do it and you just take those steps. And specifically, I feel like doing it every day consistently with without maybe having this plan in place, and maybe you feel unprepared. And I'm the first one to say I don't know exactly what I'm going to share every single day, but I have to just trust that as I'm just going to go on there and hit the live, that God's going to God's going to show me what to share, or just share in real time what the journey is like. So I'm just trusting, but I feel like there is something significant, like that breakthrough where you
Yeah.
just get over it and you just begin to, you said exercise the muscle. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is a muscle. One of the things that really helped me break out of that that focus on myself and my performance was something I heard Erwin McManus say. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He is a pastor and coach and communication expert. He's really worth following. But he was saying how he went to speak on stage, and as he walked onto the stage, there was a sign on the platform that said, "This matters," and it immediately shifted himself out of focusing on his own performance to focusing on the people who were in the audience. And he realized that they had come because they needed to receive something. And I
Wow.
think one of the things that really helped me shift my focus was that, I've just noticed some comments. Sorry, I didn't realize we had comments, but I've noticed them. But yeah, anyway, sorry about that. Distractions, ADHD. Yeah, I realized that my message is not about me. It's not for me. It is for people who really need what I have to offer. So, yeah. Hello, Andrea. It was good to see you. I'm glad you are watching with us. And thank you that you like my accent. That's really cool.
I do too, Melissa. Like, I
Oh,
do too. I love hearing you talk. And so isn't that interesting though, how for me it's I'm in Texas and from Texas, so I'm in the South. So it's funny that you're talking about your accent. I can relate because I feel the same way. Sometimes when I get going and I'm very comfortable and in conversation, I can just start that twang and I start to, y'all and how y'all do, and it just like starts to come out. And then I'll go back and listen to myself and I'm like, man, I sound so country. Like, and it just like, oh my gosh. And so kind of just, I don't even want to hear, and it makes me cringe. And so that's something that they were talking about on this call that I was on the other day is the objections. And one of the objections is I don't like to hear myself talk. And I could totally relate to that as they were sharing about that. And again, that's when I heard the Lord say, it's a visibility challenge. Get over it. And I love what you said about it's not about you. I could just see just myself and even the other people before you get ready to go live, like taking a moment to close your eyes and envision the people that God has called you to speak to and really see them. And I think about where they are and where God has called you to take them to. You're called to partner with someone with the message that God has given you, right? To take them from where they are to that breakthrough, right? Because our story, there's breakthrough in our story and our message. And so
yeah.
it's like I can see that like an envisioning exercise, God, who are those people? Let me just see them.
Yeah.
Because it's again taking the focus off of me and the accent that I have and what am I going to sound like, all the things, right? Let me just get over that and just see them. That's the reason that we're showing up,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Because I think if you are conscious about yourself and your performance, it's almost like you're asking the question, are they loving me? But what we need to
Oh
ask is,
gosh.
are we loving them? Because if we are really showing up loving people, then it doesn't matter. The people who think we are a little bit weird and wonky, they're not our people, right? They're not the people we were meant to, but the people who
Yeah.
can feel that authentic love flowing from our hearts,
Yeah.
they will connect with the message. They are the people we are called to reach. And that's why we are doing what we're doing. So it is a complete mind shift.
It
Um,
is.
and I think you are such a beautiful example of showing up authentically. So I just want to honor you in that space because you are amazing, Sabrina. So Tell me a little bit about the challenge, because I think one of the things you said that I think is very important is that you have been through a period of being hidden. So there may be people who are in that stage still, and the Lord is dealing with you. And I don't want to put any unnecessary pressure on anyone to say, go out there and get visible. I think we've got to understand our season, where the Lord has us. What would you say to people? How do we know we're ready for this challenge?
Yeah, I think when the Lord gave me the idea, what I felt like is it's the one that's overthinking, and you have all these excuses. So you already know when you hear about it, like, yeah, this is for me because I have been procrastinating. I choose not to go live or, go on video because it's uncomfortable. And I get jumbled with my words. I don't like the way that I sound. I don't feel confident in like I'm trying to get it all perfect because I'm the first to say I get all of those things. I don't like hearing myself speak. I'm not sure that I always get the tech stuff right because I see all these videos and things like that, and I'm still learning the tech part. So my excuses have been the sound of my voice. What if I don't have all of my makeup on and I'm not put together? What if the tech stuff doesn't quite go right and I don't get the all of those things. So I feel like that's who it's for. You already know God is calling you to show up in a bigger way. Maybe you've been doing the posting thing, but you refuse to go live because you've made the excuses. So I don't really feel like this is someone who is questioning whether or not God's calling them to show up. No, you already know, and you've been putting it off for all of the different reasons. And so this challenge is really, I believe, like an igniter. It's the catalyst, because maybe you've been putting it off, and now you're just like, okay, this is it. So let me just take this challenge and see what God does, like in the after, right? Like it's the igniter or the catalyst for what is next. Because once you begin to show up every day and you do so for a few minutes at a time every single day, you get over the fears and you let go of the excuses, and you just do it, and you begin to get a little more comfortable and a little more comfortable. And what happens after the 30 days? I think it's going to be something incredible. I think God's going to solidify some things for us. And I say us because I believe it's going to be the same for me, because that whole being bold and courageous and sharing unapologetically, I know that's something God is calling me to step into. Like not just showing up, but doing so and not shrinking. Like I'm here, but I'm kind of still like, that's the way I see myself. I'm showing up, but I'm not super I think he's just going to unlock something. I really do. And by the end of the 30 days, it's like, oh my gosh, watch out, because I know something now that I didn't know before.
Yeah.
So does that kind of describe, that's who I see. I see myself there, but I see those others. We're going to come alongside, and we're not procrastinating, and we're not making excuses anymore.
Yeah. And I just want to say, for anybody who is in this group, because you're called to write a book, you want to publish, you cannot start talking and becoming visible too soon. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you don't have to wait to publish your book before you start sharing your message. It's important to be the message in bones and in flesh. You are a living epistle of the story and the glory that's on your life. You can share that story even before you publish your book. So learning to become visible now is going to serve you as an author in the future, because it's such an important part of that call to write, because it's not just about writing a book. Your message, your calling is so much bigger than just the printed paperback. So we want to connect with the people that we are called to serve. And the only way to do that is to become visible, to shine your light, to get out there and to start helping people, to start solving problems for them in whatever way we can. So, Sabrina, how do we join? How do we get? Yeah.
Yes, so I'm going to come back and pop the link in here because, to be honest, I'm still connecting the tech pieces so that people can sign up. And I didn't want to delay because I feel like part of just showing up and saying, "Hey, I'm doing this challenge," is the accountability for me to say I'm gonna get the pieces. It may not be this extravagant, whatever. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be done. And there's going to be a link to sign up because I want accountability for us. So I'm going to pop the link back in here. I hope to do that by the end of today. I'm working on something new that is the text messaging, because I feel like email sometimes just gets lost. And so I want to be able to do a text reminder and a text encourager, because to me that's more doable than writing an email anyway. But I can just, hey, I'm just going to encourage you today. I'm just going to send the text and we're going to hold one another accountable. So I'm going to come back and pop that link to sign up here. And I think I can do that on YouTube, and I can do that in the group as well, so that they can sign up on the link and we can get going together.
Yes, awesome. That sounds great. And then before we go, I just want to mention you have the Kingdom Connections podcast as well. So, because you mentioned some episodes that I think would be really good to listen to. Tell us a little bit more, and we'll drop a link to your podcast in the comments as well.
Yes. So the Kingdom Connections podcast, there's a shift that's taking place in the podcast as well. But the series that I just finished up was a 6-week series, and it was called The Sacred Shift. And really, each episode pretty much is just building on the other. Like, where did this shift start, and what did it look like? What did it look like to kind of take that step back, to listen to the Lord, to really reflect, and then what did it look like to shift into this new message, and kind of what were the struggles? Because honestly, my message was a little mixed. It was kind of the old and the new together. And I was feeling confused. And I think people that I was talking to, they were a little confused. So this is just really, the series is my own journey. And God just said, share it in real time. This does feel a little bit wonky because you're in the middle of it instead of on the other side. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to hear these polished outlined episodes, but it's really just my heart. And I'm inviting you into the journey of what it looks like to get clear on the message, and then step into that with boldness and confidence.
Awesome. Yeah. And as a last point, I just want to encourage anybody who's listening, just show up and give it a go. You don't have to do it perfectly, but you just need to show up and be your beautiful self that God created to make a change on this earth, and to be a problem solver and to shine your light. So, Sabrina, anything you want to say before we sign off?
Hey, just come and join the Visibility Challenge. If you're listening and like this is speaking to you, but you're hesitating, just get in there. Just join me, because I need people to come alongside me too. We need each other. And so just do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody who's listening. Let us know in the comments where you're listening from. Tell us about the message that God has put on your heart. If you have a podcast or a book or any message, feel free to share it in the comments. Share your links. We'd love to know what you're writing, what you're sharing, what you're speaking about. Get to know you and help you promote that message that is in you. Have an awesome day, everyone.